Hello, I'm Rick Bine. I'm on the faculty in the geography department at IUPUI. And I'm going to take you to South America here, Brazil, an area where I did my doctoral research. I was on a Fulbright scholarship for the year during early 70s, 71, 72. And I was doing research on the traditional agriculture of the area. And my first wife, Mary, was with me, and she got this funny sore on her leg, just above the knee. She wore shorts a lot, and it wouldn't heal. It just kept festering, or whatever. We'd put medicine on it, and nothing would happen. And finally, one day, we went out to this farm, and a few days later, went out to this farm, and we're talking to the people there, and the lady of the house there said, "Oh, I see what you have on your leg there. That's a botfly." What's a botfly? Well, it normally rests on the backs of cows and lays eggs in it. And the eggs stay there for several weeks, maybe a month or so, and they create a little mound there. The larva grows, eventually matures, and then it crawls out the hole and flies around and to find another sunny spot on a mammal. Say normally the cows, but on people they would get too if you had a sunny spot. And her leg just above her knee got some sunlight, and this just happened to her. And so it's kind of weird. We don't have those in the States. They all through Latin America, but there are not any in the States. And there may be a few corners of Texas or Arizona maybe. But otherwise, this thing is it's pretty prevalent down there. And anyway, I asked the lady, "Well, what do you do about this?" And she says, "Oh," she called her husband, and he said, "Oh, yeah, that's interesting. You know how we do this?" He got this big slab of bacon, about that thick, and stuck it over her leg, taped it down, and lo and behold, that grub couldn't breathe anymore. So it crawled up into the bacon and made a hole through the bacon. It took about an hour. He finally got to the top of the bacon slab. The thing was about 1.5 inches thick. And he got in there, as soon as he was there, pulled the bacon away. And then in a week, that hole had healed up on her leg. He threw the bacon away, and that was the end of it. So it's kind of interesting how this local cures make a lot of sense. And I've learned, having traveled around in the tropical areas around the world, that if you ever get sick, check with the local people. It's usually some old lady, some old grandma who knows exactly what you have, and she knows what the cure is. Take this leaf, or chew on this twig, or whatever, and it usually cures it. And otherwise, you can run off and take a bunch of antibiotics and not know what else you're killing with it, and what other damage you're doing to your body. It was interesting how the home cure worked. And then another thing happened. There was a lady in Campo Grande, the city we were living in Mato Grosso of Brazil. That's right over here. She got one of these just above her cleavage. Apparently her cleavage got a lot of sunlight. And anyway, it was just there, and she was doing the same thing my wife had been doing, putting medicine on it, and it wouldn't go away. And my wife saw it and says, "Ah, I know what that is. And you know what? I got the cure for you." And when she heard this, she just freaked out. She's a city girl, never really knew much about rural areas. And she freaked out when she saw that, and she wasn't going to have anything to do with these local cures that they had. And she got on the next plane back to Dallas, and she's going to have it fixed there by American doctors who would know exactly what to do with this thing. Well, when she got back to Dallas, the doctors had never seen anything like that. And they were really curious. They just looked at it and trying to figure out what it was and do all this sort of thing. And after about 2 weeks, they figured it out, and then they called in, all the medical students, 20 of them there, and they all stood around staring at her chest while they extracted this little grub. And it was intimate, but she was never coming back to Brazil again. Now the question here is, in terms of simplicity and cost and negative memory, which of these solutions works the best?